Hi everybody, it's another brutally hot day here in Portugal, and though I've been determined to work on the tool shed, I've been pushing ahead a little bit at a time, slowly, with the help of some friends. I'm excited to share the progress, but I just can't keep working on it. It's too hot, and so I'm switching focus for this video, and I'm gonna do the third installment of my question and answer thing. So this one will be focused on land questions. But before I get into the Q&A, I thought I would pay a visit to Sinead because she's been hard at work on her land, making loads of progress. And it's been a while since we visited her, and something she's been working on is lighting. So she's recently bought a bunch of these solar things, put them all the way up the path because it really does get very dark at night, and across my land where we walk, because she and I basically spend a lot of time walking back and forth, sometimes at night. And now we have a little bit of light for us, so that's really amazing. She's working on putting up a polytunnel, and since I've put up two of these bad boys, I figured I would come over and give her a hand, and we can also scope out what she's been up to. So one of the biggest developments so far is the shade. She is an expert shade slinger. Rigging stuff up is probably my most hated task. I'm really bad at it, but she's got a lot of cool stuff going on here. So I think the shade has really helped with the heat inside this yurt. It gets really hot in there with the sun beating down on it, and I think her intention is to eventually try to get shade even over top of the whole thing. She will be having some insulation. A lot of people have been asking me about that, and that's going to come around October, and she's going to put a wood stove in there, so that might help with the heat for next summer as well. And then she's got her IBC here. She's got this little cover, very handy. Some shower bags, cooking in the sun. Probably the biggest development so far, besides the yurt, is the delivery of a massive water tank and a pump and all the stuff that Sinead needs to get the water up to the giant tank from her water hole. But I will walk you guys through that another time when I do a little tour of my own water systems as well. You can see that stuff just up there, over yonder. But right now, it's all about this cute little space, which is her bathroom and shower. And it's in this cool little building. I really like this building. I love that the stones are kind of super small. It's just like a whole miniature-sized version of the usual houses that you find in this area. It's really tiny, but it's great. And she's dug the floor out quite a bit, put loads of gravel in, many wheelbarrows in the hot sun, and she's got some lights up, she's got some bamboo, a lovely little toilet box in here, open air, and then down this little path over here we've got her shower, and she slings up those shower bags and then just does it that way. So it's a really nice space. I love these little stones, nice touch, and yeah, showering and pooping. Two things checked off the list. And right now, oh, she's also made a path coming this direction. And right now, she's hard at work digging a trench for the polytunnel. Hi, Sinead.
Hello.
How's it going? Hard at work in the hot sun.
It's how I like it. It's how I like it.
So I'm gonna give her a hand putting this together. As I said, I've done this 2 times before, and I feel like I can speed the process along, just getting things going for her. So I'm gonna put the camera down and assemble a polytunnel. Okay, this is where we're at. I've got some assembly happening. Got some more assembly still to do. The trench is going deeper. Everybody's feeling pretty sweaty because it is brutally hot out here.
Yeah, and he really seemed to.
So we've just had a little break because, as mentioned, the weather's crazy. And we're pretty excited to get back out there in the hot sun, get back this polytunnel.
Working on our tons.
Yeah, so we're gonna get it done. The polytunnel will rise, and hopefully we won't die in the process. So the trench is dug, and I'd say that was a pretty hard slog in the hot sun. Was it a pretty hard slog in the hot sun, Sinead?
Wasn't easy, man. She wasn't easy.
Wasn't easy, but this is key for not having these things blow away. So essential. And now I think we're gonna go vertical. So we're just gonna get on with it and try to get this done before we fry. So we're getting there, but we did not plan very well because this is incredibly hot. It's been sitting in the sun. There's obviously no shade here. It's the hottest part of the day, and possibly not a day to be working with hot metal.
But we're tough.
But we're tough.
But we're tough, so we like to make things more difficult for ourselves.
Indeed we do. So we're just tightening her up, but she's a fine, fine structure. And now it's time to stick the cover on, which is a hilarious job to try to do with one person. So hopefully with two people, it won't be quite as difficult. How's it feeling in there? Nice and toasty?
Yeah.
Come out.
We would pay good money for this right now.
A little bit of hot yoga in here?
Yeah, I tell you.
No, thank you.
I tell you.
No, thank you very much. What's that you said?
I'm gonna shade that shit. I'm gonna shade that shit.
Ah, such a strange person.
I have learned a valuable lesson when I'm sticking up shade net.
Which is?
What you think is going to be your shady spot often turns out not possible.
Let's see.
What's the lesson I've learned?
Shading. putting up shade cloth is not my skill. It's not my skill, but I will help in any way I can with your tutelage. What's that? What did they call you?
They have called me, and they still do call me, Shady Sinead. We're going to go long rope on this.
Long rope on this to there?
And then that one will go that way.
Okay.
It's working.
All the way over there?
To that tree, yeah.
Damn.
7 meters.
Wow. This
We'll
is...
reach.
Shady Sinead is ambitious.
I'll tell you.
But you don't get that name for no reason. Those are some very fine knot tying skills, Shady Sinead.
10
Very
years of
fine.
scouting, I tell you. 10
Yeah?
years of scouting gets you there.
What can I do? Can I hold something?
No, you're going to just watch and learn.
Okay.
Watch and learn, sister.
So Sinead's hard at work, and I'm under some existing shade. Relaxing because this is pretty brutal. But we're almost done. And by we, I mean Sinead, because I'm not really doing anything right now.
Stay away, stay away.
Time for a new blade?
Definitely time for a new blade.
It's seen better days.
Right, now, will the plan work?
I trust in your plan. I trust in your plan.
Not really.
The angle's a little off.
So, well, that's the glory of doing this thing. Also, look, it's not even that. The glory of messing around with triangles.
Who doesn't love the glory of messing around with triangles?
Okay, I
So
have a plan. I
Have a new plan.
I have a plan.
Okay.
It needs to go over to that branch. It's okay?
It's okay? It's all under control,
It's
Shady
okay.
Sinead?
It's okay, it's okay.
It's working.
Huh?
It's perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a chair.
All right, I can do that for you. I will get up off of my arse, go back out into the hot sun, and help you out. There you go. Where does the chair need to be?
Over there.
Over there. Chair over there. Okay. Maybe instead of filming and holding your chair, I'll just hold your chair and put the camera down. She's a fine shade cloth.
It's small.
Well, you know, nothing another triangle can't fix.
Yeah.
Bit more shade. So what's going in here, Sinead?
Oh.
Some surprise items will be going in here.
Surprise,
And they should be arriving on Friday. Along with some guests, which will be very exciting. But that's a video for another day. Right now, I'm gonna go jump in the pool, possibly have a snooze in the hammock, and then you'll see me a little later tonight when it's cooler, and I'm gonna do the question and answers thing about my land and have a little walk around on my land. So, bye Sinead.
Toodaloo.
See you later. So it's not the evening of the same day, it's a couple days later in the morning, and it's nice and cool. And I'm just here in my beleaguered garden. I'm trying to keep it watered, but it's been tough. It's been tough to keep things going. And we're gonna have a little walk around the garden shortly, but right now I'm gonna head up to the deck and do my Q&A about the land. So following on from the building Q&A, which if you haven't seen, you can check out there, and the more personal Q&A, which is another video, you can also check there. I have my question and answers session based on my land stuff. So I basically divided the questions into 3 parts, and this is the section all about the land. So I'm gonna go through the questions that don't require me walking around, and then anything that does, we'll take a whiz around the land, I'll show you some stuff, and we'll have some chats. So first up, basic stuff about the land, how big is the land, etc. Also, nobody asked this, but it's a common question. I paid just under 14,000 euros in 2020, and the land is 1,800 square meters. So it's really small, but it's actually quite difficult to find small plots of land here. It seems like most things are a couple of hectares, and so if you look at my per hectare price, it's very expensive, but I wanted a small piece of land, and they are actually quite rare. So it's got the little building on it. It's 4 meters by 5 meters on the inside, 5 meters by 6 meters on the outside, half-meter thick walls, and it's got 30 olive trees. It's got a well. Behind me has a spring, which I call the hole of mystery. I don't know where this water comes from, but it's ever flowing, and since I've done repairs on the tank, I really do have loads of water, more water than I need. I've never even had to use the water down by the well, so that's kind of more of a backup. Eventually I'll probably use it for irrigation for the trees on the bottom terrace, but for right now, it's just there, being green. I think it might be a home to some rats, lots of frogs, and it leaks, so I think it gives lots of water to my orange trees that are around there. Speaking of which, the land came with 2 orange trees, a tangerine, clementine type thing tree, this beautiful lemon tree right above me, which I love, a plum tree, and it also had a apricot tree, and that died shortly after my arrival. May it rest in peace. Yeah, lots of olives and a fig tree beside the house, and I think that's about it for the actual mature things. Everything you see in the garden, which I'll go through in a bit, was planted by me. It was kind of a barren wasteland, and I've built loads of beds and planted a bunch of trees in there. And yeah, so lots of changes since I first got here, and it's been really nice to buy a place that has so many mature trees. The lemon tree is probably my favorite thing on the whole piece of land, and I'm really lucky to have that. So that's the basics of the land. Is there anything I wish I had on the land that I don't? And I guess my answer for that would be more berries. I really feel like having an annual garden is a lot of work, and I might switch things up a bit next year and really try to focus on planting perennials, including lots of berries. I eat them a lot. I'm always having them on my yogurt and smoothies, etc., wherever one has berries. And they're super expensive in the supermarket. So if I could figure out growing berries, I would be very happy. Lots of people here grow raspberries fairly easily. I've struggled with strawberries. I did well the first year, but they're not doing much for me this year. And I've got 3 blueberries in pots, and I'm gonna probably buy more and really go big on the raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries next year. So that's the main thing I wish I had more of, but I'm gonna do something about it. And another thing I would love to have would be a mature avocado tree and a mature mango tree. So I tried to grow a mango last year and it died over the winter. And I've killed 3 avocado trees so far. I have one in a pot that's looking pretty strong, but it seems like every time I put them in the ground, they perish. They just don't like it. So I need to find a good spot for the avocado. I might actually put it over on Sinead's land. She's got a nice sheltered area once she sets up her irrigation. But yeah, how amazing would it be to have a mature avocado tree on the land? So definitely something I'm working towards, even though it's a long way away. And I don't know if I'll be able to keep it alive either. So that's that. What is my property surrounded by? I'll take you on a walk. I'll show you the neighbors' lands in a bit. Map of the land. I'm going to go up to the house. I've got a map on the computer, and I'll walk you through that in a bit. Sinead's place. I got a lot of questions about Sinead's. Sinead's one of my best friends. She bought the land a couple years ago, and she just moved in maybe 3 months ago. So she's been hard at work over there doing loads of stuff. As you saw earlier in the video, her place is moving along at quite the pace. She's got that yurt up. She's got her little bathroom area set up. Water is on the way, and she's got some big plans. Her place is about 4 times the size of mine. So mine is half an acre, 1,800 square meters, and her place is, I believe, around 8,000 square meters. And it seems pretty big. It seems like a lot of grass to cut. I'm quite happy with the size of my place. Her place has a lot of opportunity for food forests and things like that, which is really cool. And I think she's gonna do amazing things over there. But for me, I like my little plot of land, and I'm really excited to help her out on her place. And perhaps we'll have some projects together over on her land. Maybe I'll help her manage the food forest. Maybe we'll put some berries down there. Who knows? But we've got lots of space to work with. And her place has 2 stone buildings, one that's actually on the deeds, and another small one that is just kind of a ruin, but it's a really nice little structure. And 80 olive trees. She's got loads. They were in really bad shape when she moved in. She had a friend come and prune some of them, and I think she's going to try to learn how to prune them herself this year. But some of the trees are looking good for olives, and let's hope that she has a nice little harvest to contribute to the olive picking season in November. She's got a water hole. She's working on that, trying to figure out how to sort of basin it off so she can collect more water. And also she's got the stuff she needs to pump it up to a tank. So she's moving along at a pretty quick clip, and it's exciting to see her place develop as she works, and I'm really looking forward to showing what really is the true Portugal from scratch. She's starting from basically nothing, and it's really cool that I can kind of check in from time to time, filming her, showing her progress, and updating you guys on that. I actually have loads of footage from my place from the very beginning. I just have never put it together in a video. So I started the YouTube channel about a year after getting the land, and I fully intend on going back. I think it's a whole bunch of crappy iPhone footage I have, but I'll go back and I'll show you the place from the very beginning at some point. I'm going to be working on sort of a everything I've done in 4 years kind of video. I have been working on that for a while, but I'm going to actually try to get it done sooner rather than later, and you're going to see like all that footage from the beginning of my land. Another very common question, any plans for chickens or other animals? I would love chickens. I just think they're super entertaining. They're very practical. I eat eggs, I eat chicken, and it would be really nice to learn everything to do with all of that stuff, and just to have eggs every morning and just to go hang out with some chickens. But I've got so much to do that I don't think adding animals into the mix right now is a smart idea. I don't even think having a garden right now is a smart idea, so I'm going to tone that back quite a bit next year and really try to put my focus more on the building stuff, because that's just taking forever, and the garden takes up a bunch of my time, and chickens would definitely take up, well, I don't know if chickens would take up a lot of time. I feel like you can get automatic doors and automatic feeders and things, but I haven't built anything for them to live in, so that needs to happen, and it's something for far, far, far down the line, and it's something I'll do together with Sinead at the same time. I'll probably put it either over on her land across the way, or maybe on my bottom terrace where my food forest is. Could be a good spot. Another creature I would love to have on the quinta would be goats, but I don't know. They're kind of mischievous. They're escape artists. They're difficult to keep contained, but I think they've got such great characters. I don't think I would bother milking them. I feel like if you start milking animals, it's kind of a prison sentence. You have to do it every day. But just having them around to cut the grass, just to hang out, to chat to visit, to go for walks with, who knows? I think it'd be cool to have a couple of goats. But again, nowhere to put them, no time to manage them. I know nothing about them. I'd have to learn a bunch of stuff. So that's something for the future. But I do feel like having something to munch on the grass would be really cool. And goats are my preferred small farm animal for that task. What are my plans for each terrace? I'll take you on a walk in a little bit, and I'll talk about that. This is a really surprisingly common question. I use a strimmer to cut the grass, and often people ask if I could use a push lawnmower or a ride-on mower, and I guess so. My land is terraced, but though I have a path down sort of the side, it's still got some like little rocky terraces in between, so it's not necessarily flat. There's often rocks hiding within there. Some of the terrain is hilly. There's terrace cliffs to worry about. So I just feel like the strimmer is the most versatile tool for chopping the grass, and I actually really enjoy it. And I have an electric strimmer that goes with the Makita batteries I have, so it doesn't cost any money in petrol or oil or anything like that. And it's a really light, quiet, and very enjoyable tool to use. And I actually, when the weather's nice and when the grass seeds aren't super ferocious, I really actually enjoy going out and strimming. Do I know of any land for sale? This is another common question I get in the comments. Not really. I have my place, and I'm not really on the lookout for other land, or I haven't been. I do have a friend currently looking for sort of a small apartment with a bit of land, and so it's a little bit on my radar. But generally, I'm not really going on the property websites and looking for things. I've got my bits, and I don't really browse too much about what's out there. Obviously, when the land came for sale down there that Sinead bought, and then the land over that my friend Sancha bought came for sale, that came on my radar. And if anything local around me pops up, I'll generally contact some friends, let them know about it, and see who's up for it. And so far, I'm 2 for 2. So within the valley, if land pops up, I'm gonna probably tell my friends. And other than that, I really just don't really pay attention to what's happening out there. There's lots of great websites. My best advice would be just come to the area, have a look around, chat to people, and go to the cafes. If you want to buy something that's off the websites, you can actually just walk around villages. You'll see for sale signs everywhere with phone numbers. So there's a lot of stuff out there still. I think the prices are much higher than they were when I bought my place, but you know, you can still find a good deal out there if you're willing to come and have a look around. Will I have volunteers? I'm not really set up for volunteers, and if I'm perfectly honest with you, perfectly blunt, I'm probably too much of a control freak to have volunteers. A lot of my work right now is building, and I really like to do things in a very specific way. I like to go slow. I like to enjoy the process. And I find with volunteers for the type of things that I'm doing at my place, I don't think it would really work out. And then my land isn't so big that I could have kind of a whole bunch of people here working on it, which is kind of a bummer because I actually have done quite a bit of volunteering. I've done lots of work exchanges with other people, and you know, maybe I contributed something to them, but what I actually feel like I really got out of it was the opportunity to learn and to help out and to make contacts with people and to learn what kinds of things I'm interested in. It's where I got my love for natural building, my love for permaculture principles and things. I hadn't heard about any of those things until I volunteered. So if Sinead's up for it at some point in the future, she's got more land, more projects. If Sancha's up for it, perhaps together, once we get better facilities, we might host some volunteers in the future. Mostly because it sounds cheesy, but I would love to give back because I have always had such a great experience, great learning experience as a volunteer myself. So I'd love to. My place isn't set up for it. I'm not the type of person that could host volunteers just specifically here, but I'm not ruling it out because I think possibly together the three of us might be able to set something up that's pretty cool for visitors and volunteers down the road sometime. Definitely not on the radar for the foreseeable future, though. And another common question I get all the time is it legal? What I'm doing, is it legal? And if you look at my comments, you'll see my evasive answer is always, I'm not going to give legal advice on the site. On my channel. You really need to talk to a lawyer. If you're going to build, get an architect, and you definitely need a lawyer before you buy. And if you want to do any changing of the paperwork, I will say that there's a lot of things that are possible. I think some rules have changed in Portugal that make things a bit more flexible for these types of rural land. And I know firsthand that things can be changed, and rural buildings, even little ones like mine, can be changed to urban articles. And lots of things are possible. You just have to have the time to wait for the documents to come through, and you have to have the money and probably a good contact for a lawyer to make these things happen. So that's the advice I'll give about the legalities of everything. Talk to a lawyer. Lots of things are possible. And on top of that, if you're somebody that's willing to take a risk, you weigh the price of your land versus how averse to risk you are, or how risky you like to be, and then you just make a call based on that, knowing that perhaps everything could be knocked down, taken away, you could be fined, whatever. Some people are okay with that, some people aren't. So that's my answer for that one. Lawyer, architect if you're going to build, or if you're into taking risk and you don't mind losing everything, that's also an option as well. All right, so what questions have I missed that involve walking around? Let's go visit the neighbors. I got the what is my property surrounded by question. Let me just show you. And at the same time, I guess I'll talk about what my plans are for each terrace. And then we'll go inside of the computer and I'll walk you through the map of my land, which I have in Adobe Illustrator. So let's go for a walk. Let's start over here. This land, very close to my place, doesn't belong to me, and I would absolutely love to one day buy it, and it comes with half of that house. So the left side belongs to somebody, the right side belongs to someone else. There's 2 doors on the bottom. Let's just go take a look. And I've never actually seen anybody up in the top, so maybe that's even owned by some third person or some third family. So these 2 doors here are basically glorified tool sheds. They've got lots of stuff stored in there, all of their olive stuff, and when it's olive harvest time, everybody comes. These guys work there, and then the other side has land here. Definitely this little patch, possibly even more going further that way somewhere. So yeah, it's kind of, wouldn't really fancy somebody moving in right behind me. So if this ever came for sale, I would probably try to buy it somehow, especially because the land is really cool. It has a water source over there, and it's just a bunch of olive trees. Probably don't need more olive trees, but I like the way it's got lots of space just kind of tucked in back there. And this one goes all the way down to meet Sinead's. I don't know exactly how far over this way it goes, and I don't know how to get back down there. I think I have to go around, but yep, so Sinead's is just there. You can maybe see the yurt in the distance. So that's the neighbor on this side. Small piece of land, just like mine, in a sort of pie shape with a pretty enormous building, but they only own one side of that. And then over on the other side of my place, all of the land is really weirdly shaped. It's a lot of tiny triangles of land. I think families have kind of just divided them up amongst the children, and you just end up with these little weird bits. So this little tiny bit here with the sort of very annoying but also very beautiful stone wall. It's annoying because it means you have to be pretty careful when you're coming into my driveway, but this little bit, this olive tree, going down kind of in a triangle down to that lower terrace there, belongs to, I think, a family. I've seen the mother around for a long time when I first moved in. She was super old. She was up the ladders doing the olives. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't know if she's still around. Hey, Mikey. How's it going? Come here. You gonna come for a walk with me? He likes to follow me around sometimes. So I don't know what her story is, but the children come and tend to the trees, and they do the olives, and it's just nice to have the neighbors around, especially during olive picking season. So all the way down this road, there's a whole bunch of little bits of land. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 different owners kind of going on this side, including a friend of mine who owns that stone building there, and the access road is just there, and it goes all the way down the valley. You can see an IBC tank over there. Goes down and down and down and down, and it pops out over by Sanchez, and I think it's about a half a hectare, and it's a really beautiful piece of land. I was actually interested in that land for Sinead ages ago, but Sinead wasn't really ready to buy just yet, so it's a beautiful spot, and yeah, it's a larger piece of land, and really nice to have another friend in the valley. And then down here, more triangles. I feel like that triangle extends to about here, maybe to here, and then there's another one that starts down here, and then there's just some mysterious scrubland beyond here, kind of over to the left. And then we've got Mikey coming for the walk with us. Hey, little guy. And let's go this way, actually. So I've got some shaggy looking olive trees. I'm pretty sure this land belongs to the same owners as this land. And then that's the scrubby bit that nobody knows who owns it. And then we've got this little bit down here. And when I actually bought my place, this is my place up here. Come on, speed up, speed up. I'm not gonna wait for you. Got places to be, man. So I've got, this is a public track, little access road to the land that's beyond. And this part belongs to somebody else, and they put a bunch of grapes on it. And there's no access to water, so they were actually bringing in buckets of water by van. Maybe you can see a bucket over there, and there's some grapes there. It's all looking pretty overgrown. I don't know how well the grapes are doing. They're probably not doing very well this year because nobody's are. But that's owned, a little rectangle owned by somebody different. They also own a piece of land up there, I think. This is my place, and then this up here is the bottom of the land where I started the tour. And this little bit here belongs to a whole different person as well. And they recently came through with a tractor and kind of decimated a beautiful line of trees there, sort of without us really knowing what was going to happen. And then this is obviously Sinead. So she's right across the path into the bottom terrace, and her place goes further back there. And as I said, it's about 8,000 square meters, and you're going to be seeing a lot of this place because she's doing a lot of cool stuff. Mikey, I'm going this way. Mikey enjoys hanging out by the yurt. He comes to visit occasionally, but for now we're going to head back up to my place, and I might as well do a little land tour while I go. So this is my bottom terrace. It's the largest terrace. It's very overgrown. I need to get the strimmer in there. I need to give my trees a water. And yeah, give it some attention. I try to water the trees once a week. Twice a week is probably better because of the weather. You can see it's looking a little sad and droopy, so I'll do that this afternoon. But basically I have a bunch of trees that I planted and a bunch of trees that are already here. So this is the clementine tree. There's the 2 orange trees over there. That green mass in the middle is my well, which, let me show you if I can actually get close to it. This is definitely my most neglected area. Super brambly. I don't know if you can see, but the well is in there somewhere, and if I go any closer, I'll get shredded to pieces. My apple tree is looking a little droopy, definitely needs to be propped. And I've got my water source down there, the hose to water the trees, lime tree, apple tree, 2 pears, 2 peaches, Japanese pear, and a pecan tree. And those are all the ones that I planted. Plus there's probably about 15 or 20 olive trees down here. This is the terrace that has the most. So yeah, I'd like to squeeze a few more trees on there. I can probably, I don't know, fit 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 onto that bottom terrace. And this tree here is a neem tree, and I see little balls up there, and I didn't even know it had fruit. So I don't know, I guess I need to do some research there. But that's pretty cool. I have no idea what's growing there. I've got some brambles. Luckily, I don't have a lot of brambles in my place. This is the main brambly bit and down by the well. But for the most part, I'm very bramble free, and I'm very lucky to be bramble free because they suck. And you can see a lot of the branches on my olive trees are dead. I'm gonna chop those off fairly soon. But this terrace here, I think I want it to be my parking. So I'd like to be able to come in here and park some cars, fit them on here. Maybe I'll plant another tree over here for shade, have kind of a turnaround area here. I'm not exactly sure just yet. This is also where I store my firewood. This is where I do burn piles. And this is also where I have the surprise butternut squash. I am really, really excited about this. It's pretty amazing that these have just popped up. And they're looking pretty good, so that's very exciting. My compost bins, which are looking quite sad. That compost is ready to go. This one's the current one that I'm using, and that one has been under production for a while, but it obviously needs some attention. And yeah, I guess down here, parking, some trees. I've got the garden polytunnel here. I would like to extend the garden down a bit more and maybe have some more gardeny things, but there's actually a giant stone that runs under this whole terrace, so I'm not sure how far that goes. And then the garden. So the garden terrace is a lot of jalapeno peppers right now. I've got the blueberries I was talking about earlier, some raspberries on the go, some more pepper plants. And then I really want to focus, like I said, on perennials, and I'm wondering if I can squeeze one more tree in. So I've got the grapefruit tree, which had grapefruits on it. It looked good, but now they're not looking so good. And I've got the world's most giant sunflower, which is here. I'm gonna guess this bad boy is about 4 meters tall. I've got some horseradish and lilies. And since I repaired my water tank, the lilies have been struggling. So I think the leaky water tank is fixed, but unfortunately the lilies aren't looking so happy. And the garden, I think it's coming to an end. I stopped watering the cucumbers. I'm gonna retire these beds. I'll keep the kale going because I like eating it. But I'll close this one off. And I also planted this lime tree down here and the cherry tree as well in there. So maybe I can sneak one more tree in somewhere. Maybe not, we'll see. But this is the garden. I'm definitely gonna go smaller next year, but this terrace will always be where I put all of my annuals and hopefully some perennials as well. And then the top terrace, which is currently my parking area, will eventually be some sort of medicinal garden, I think. Medicinal garden with herbs and flowers and maybe some berries up here as well and all that stuff. I just like the idea of having a really, I have a random watermelon under my tree. How did you get there? The hammock with the view, this is my favorite spot, actually. I love sitting in the hammock and just looking over the valley. It's amazing. It's a beautiful view when it's not brutally hot, but the hammock will stay. Maybe I'll make a better shade area. There's a pomegranate tree, and yeah, I just imagine this all being beautiful, landscaped, luscious gardens, and then the house. And this part up here will be, I don't know if it'll be a hangout space. I'll probably do the hangout space down by the pool, but this will be my work area. So I've got the tool shed underway, and this will be sort of a lean-to compost toilet, permanent one. I'll get rid of the temporary one. I'll probably have my wood store somewhere over here, somewhere to store bicycles and stuff like that. And eventually the water tank will be over there, raised up a bit. I'll try to get a 2,000 liter tank so I can get rid of one of my other tanks. And yeah, I don't really know what else will be over here, but oh, this will be where I put my water for showering. I'll use one of those volcano, I think they're called hot water on demand shower things. And this is Larry in his little spot. Hey, little guy. So Larry is a little lazier than Mikey today, but still very cute. But I'll put all my hot water stuff here, and I've got the plumbing back around, and then the water tank will be here. So yeah, lots to do. But I definitely have a very clear vision. I've got plans, I've got dreams, I've got hopes, and it's not gonna happen anytime soon. It's gonna be a long, multi-year project, but I'm gonna work at it, chip away little by little, and eventually each terrace will be transformed into, I hope, something very beautiful. It's all about being patient and just, yeah, working towards the long-term goal and not getting frustrated along the way. So that's the tour of the land. Oh, and down by the swimming pool, that'll be my hangout terrace. I'll probably put a barbecue down there. I might eventually have a long drop compost toilet permanently down there rather than something up here. And yeah, just an extended patio down there, put stones down, get some lawn chairs, hang out under the shade of the lemon tree, and that will be my spot for enjoying, and up here will be more about working and things like that. So that's the land. Let's go check out this map I have on the computer, and hopefully that'll let you see how it all kind of fits together. So I think I've only ever done one screen recording in my life, and I don't really remember how to do it, so hopefully everything's working fine. This is the land. So up here we have the house. This is the top terrace with the border, the edge of the terrace there, the second terrace down here with the garden here, and then this is the terrace edge of the third terrace to the fourth terrace. So this is where I was talking about the parking being there. And this is my garden here. Let's just stick a G. All these little paths and stuff that I designed, that doesn't actually exist, but I was pretty ambitious in my early design. And then I've got the water source here, W, my water source on my deck. And the food forest down here, F, F. And then if we zoom in, you'll see that back in the day I actually labeled all the trees and put the dates that I planted them. So if I'm ever wondering what I actually planted, this is the place I come to. Yeah, it looks like I planted most of my trees in 2021 down the bottom terrace, which is a year later than I thought. I thought I got them in 2020 at the end of the year in November, but it was a year later, and it's pretty amazing how big they've grown. This apple is pretty huge here. And then I think I've got, yeah, some other trees that I planted around the same time. This was an avocado that perished, so you know what? I am going to delete this guy because that was just sad. So let me get rid of this. Goodbye, bacon avocado. And let's see, let's go zoom out. Ta-da. Okay, so then I've got the neem tree, the almond, the apple, and over here another avocado tree which perished. So let's just do some housekeeping, get rid of that sadness. And yeah, basically this is the land. So this is what I talked about with wanting sort of a herb garden up here, basically. So I've got the polytunnel here right now. Oops. Polytunnel is here. And eventually I'll get rid of this and just make this whole garden a herb garden with some medicinal herbs and things like that as well. Nice paths, some pergolas, some vertical gardening and stuff. I've also, I guess, was going to put a lime tree here. That's not going to happen. I have my lime trees down at the bottom. And this was a banana, so that can go as well. So everything seems kind of accurate now, and I guess I've got another polytunnel currently over in this area. And yeah, so let's go zoom out again. So hopefully you can kind of see where I'm at. Top terrace, you walk down this way down the hill. Sinead's place is over here. SP, this is a little path to get to her place. And she's just right there. And the little road that we walk down is just here. So I've made a mess of this. Hopefully it helps explain a little better kind of what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with here. Eventually I'd like to put a chicken coop somewhere, probably down on this terrace somewhere. And yeah, I don't know what else. I'll put a wood store kind of up here. The tool shed will be just there. And then I'll put a big 2,000 liter water tank just right here. So hopefully that explains things a little better. It's been a long time since I've looked at this map. Perhaps I'll update it with some future plans. I probably do want to put, I don't know, any more buildings? Probably not. I probably don't have space. Oh, like a barbecue sort of here maybe. B, Q. My Illustrator paintbrush handwriting is not amazing, but barbecue in there. And then I'll probably put a compost toilet or something sort of off the terrace edge over here. And it'll be hopefully far enough away from all the hangout area that you won't really notice it. I might put some sort of a plant screen there. Oh, and then here, I've actually, on the edge of the garden going into the third terrace, I want to put a fire pit, I think, in there. So fire pits. Oops. Come on, fire pits. Okay. How do I turn this red? It's not going red. Anyway, you get the idea. There we go. Fire pits. So, yeah, and then a pergola coming out here with plants growing on it. So anyway, now I'm just making a complete mess and probably doesn't make any sense, but this is the vision. This is the chaotic, crazy vision, and yeah, that's the land, all the olive trees, and the lemon tree there that was already here, and the plum tree that was already here. Plum and then lemon. Yep, so that's the virtual tour of my land. This is the map, and hopefully, let's get rid of everything here. Hopefully that helps you visualize my space just a little bit better. Okay, so that has been the map, and now let's go back outside, see what the weather is doing, and we'll wrap this video up because it's been a long one. It is roasting out here. It's that time of day. It's about 2 o'clock, and I shouldn't be in the sun, but I forgot to talk about the front of the house. It will eventually have a window very soon, I hope. And I'm gonna put a pergola over the front of the house. I've got some grapes growing there. I've got some jasmine. I might grow something else that's gonna climb on the pergola, creating shade in the summer, and then in the winter the leaves will drop and it'll allow the sun to go in through my future window and heat up the house. So I think that's basically it. I've got some trees there. There's a macadamia, an avocado, a couple of maracuja, passion fruit plants as well, so they'll go in the ground at some point in the future. And I can't think of anything else to talk about. I'm gonna go run to the shade because I'm cooking alive out here. It's bad. So here we are. The shade's much better. That's all from this video. If you have any questions that I didn't answer in this very long video about my land, I feel like I was pretty thorough, but any more questions, leave them in the comments and I'll address them there. Likewise, if anyone has any questions about water stuff, I'm gonna do a video soon about all of my water systems, so ask the questions down below. But right now, I'm feeling very sleepy. The weather totally takes it out of me, and I think it's time for a nap, so I'm gonna head back inside, close the door, go into the cool stone house, stick the fan on me, and have a snooze. If you like the video, give it a like. If you have friends that might like my stuff, share it around. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.